The guy's special. I've never seen anything like him. He's special, he's different. He wants to fight again.
Khamzat boy.
Hey fight fans, welcome back to Iron Arena, the place where we dive deep into the lives, careers, and controversies of the biggest names in the world of MMA. Today, we're exploring the meteoric rise of one of the most talked about figures in the UFC right now, Khamzat Chimaev. From his brutal debut fights to the connection with controversial figures like Kadyrov and his supposed rivalry with the legendary Khabib Nurmagomedov, Khamzat's journey is as thrilling as it is unpredictable. Stick around as we break down everything you need to know about this explosive talent. Let's get into it. Early life. Khamzat Chimaev's life began in 1994 in Chechnya, an area known for its ongoing political instability. Growing up amidst the backdrop of war and hardship, Khamzat's early years were far from easy. Chechnya, a region devastated by years of conflict, offered little in terms of security and stability. But it was in this environment that Khamzat began developing the resilience that would make him an unstoppable force later in life. At the age of 6, Khamzat's family moved to Sweden seeking a better life. It was here that he found the perfect environment to nurture his skills. Wrestling became his first love, and he immersed himself in it wholeheartedly. The transition from Chechnya to Sweden wasn't easy, but Khamzat was determined to make the most of his new life. He started wrestling with a passion, competing in local tournaments and showing off his raw talent. Sweden's system of supporting youth sports helped Khamzat excel and quickly move from wrestling to mixed martial arts, MMA. His early success in wrestling translated directly into MMA, where he displayed the type of skill and aggression that would make him a unique fighter in the world of UFC. Mixed martial arts. Once Khamzat started competing in MMA, it was clear that he had a natural gift for combat sports. His wrestling base, which he had honed for years, became a deadly weapon in the cage. But unlike many wrestlers transitioning to MMA, Khamzat didn't stop there. He knew that to succeed at the highest levels, he would need to round out his game. So, he started focusing on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and boxing, adding more tools to his arsenal. What stood out about Khamzat was his ability to learn fast. In a sport where most athletes take years to reach their peak, Khamzat seemed to evolve at an almost supernatural pace. He quickly moved up the ranks in the local Swedish MMA scene, gaining attention from coaches and promoters alike. But it wasn't just his skills that caught people's eyes. It was his unwavering confidence, his willingness to challenge anyone, and his ability to finish fights at an incredible pace. His first few MMA fights were a blur of quick knockouts and submissions, and before long, he had built a reputation as a fighter to watch. His ability to dispatch opponents in the first round made people question, is this guy the real deal? It wasn't long before the UFC started paying attention. UFC. Khamzat made his official UFC debut in 2020, and what an entrance it was. He entered the UFC with massive expectations, and he didn't disappoint. In his debut fight against John Phillips, Khamzat made history by dominating from start to finish. He controlled the fight in all positions, and within just one round, Khamzat secured a submission victory, putting the UFC on notice that there was a new, lethal force in town. But Khamzat didn't just stop at one victory. He followed up with a performance that shocked the world. In his second fight against Gerald Meerschaert, Khamzat finished the fight in 17 seconds, the fastest finish in UFC middleweight history. It was clear that Khamzat was not only a threat in the Octagon, but he was also a fighter who could make lightning-fast decisions and execute at an elite level. Fans and analysts were quick to label him as the next big thing. His raw talent, combined with his no-nonsense attitude, had already made him a fan favorite. He didn't just beat opponents, he demolished them. His rise was meteoric, and by the time his third fight in the UFC came around, everyone was watching. Khamzat was on the verge of becoming a major star, with a potential future title shot on the horizon. Relationship with Dana White and Kadyrov. One of the most intriguing aspects of Khamzat Chimaev's career is his relationship with Dana White, the UFC president, and Ramzan Kadyrov, the controversial leader of Chechnya. Let's start with Dana White. Dana has always been vocal about his support for Khamzat. From the moment Khamzat joined the UFC, Dana White recognized his potential and was quick to sing his praises. Dana has called Khamzat one of the most exciting prospects in the sport, and it's clear that White sees something in Chimaev that could be the future of the UFC. However, Khamzat's connection to Ramzan Kadyrov has sparked more controversy. Kadyrov, a figure who's deeply involved in Chechen politics, has been a controversial figure in international news. His connection to Khamzat has raised eyebrows, with many questioning how this relationship might affect Khamzat's future. Khamzat has publicly praised Kadyrov and spent time with him, even posting on social media about their meetings. While some see this as a sign of loyalty, others believe it could be damaging to Khamzat's public image. Despite the criticism, Khamzat's bond with Kadyrov remains strong. Khamzat has never shied away from his connection to Chechnya and his deep roots in the region. And while Kadyrov's influence has been a topic of much debate, there's no doubt that Khamzat's rise has been supported, in part, by his relationship with the Chechen leader. Controversy with Khabib. One of the most significant controversies that surrounded Khamzat Chimaev early on was his supposed rivalry with Khabib Nurmagomedov, the legendary former UFC lightweight champion. Khabib, who had built a legacy of his own with an undefeated record and a humble, disciplined attitude, didn't always seem to agree with Khamzat's brash, outspoken persona. While both men share similar backgrounds as Chechens, their personalities couldn't be more different. Khamzat's cocky and bold comments, especially regarding his own greatness, didn't sit well with Khabib, who has always emphasized the importance of humility and discipline in the sport. The tension between the two was palpable, and many believed that Khamzat's rising fame and attention-seeking behavior were at odds with Khabib's quiet and respectful approach to MMA. Despite this tension, there hasn't been a direct feud between the two. Still, many fans couldn't help but wonder, could Khabib's conservative views on the sport clash with Khamzat's unapologetic personality? Only time will tell if they'll ever reconcile, or if their paths will cross in a more dramatic way in the future. And that wraps up today's breakdown of Khamzat Chimaev, his journey, the ups and downs, and everything in between. What do you think? Can Khamzat live up to the hype and claim a UFC title, or will the controversies surrounding him hold him back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Khamzat's career, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Iron Arena for more exclusive MMA content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep fighting, keep pushing, and always stay tuned for more action from the world of combat sports.